Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your listening and viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships, whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature, it is untouched by man? It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com, NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you who are using the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, we thank all of you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. And I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we hope that everyone had a happy and safe Thanksgiving. We are in this holiday season now. Once Thanksgiving passes, we're in the season of thankfulness, but we're also, and we should always be in the season of thankfulness, but we're also entering into our Christmas season, and we just want everyone to have a safe remainder of the year, a happy remainder of the year, and most of all, we want you to finish the year strong. So we want everyone to, and I encouraged everyone yesterday at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809, to make certain that we get our house in order. We do everything that's necessary to make certain that our house is in order, because we are about to go into a new year. We don't wait till it's time for resolutions that people make, and we're not part of the resolutioners. We want to make certain that we're always walking in the path that God has purposed for us, and we know that God wants us to live out the entire year, maximizing the fullness of God. So I want to just say to everyone, we really hope that you had a happy and safe Thanksgiving, but we want you to enjoy the remainder of this year and finish out this year strong. So we are Facebook Live, we're YouTube Live, and we are RadioFreeNetwork.com Live. If you go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on radio, the drop box will appear. Click on the New Life link, every broadcast is available to you. We are Facebook Live, YouTube Live at Daily Divine Direction, and we want you to stay connected with us throughout the week through our internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio, at WKAPfaith.com. We play music 24 hours a day that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you to be the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become. So I had shared with everyone that we were going to be spending a lot of time on relationships because we've gotten overloaded with communications about relationships. So we're going to be dealing with that as, this part of the year. And it was mentioned yesterday at our church that people go through a lot of depression during the holiday seasons, and for a lot of different reasons. For many people that are not necessarily seniors, but just people who are living alone, or people who are not in relationships, or even people in relationships, this becomes a difficult time of the year for people because no one likes to spend the holidays alone. No one really wants to be alone. The Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. So people go through a lot of different changes. But we've been getting a lot of communications. However, we've been getting a lot of communications about relationships. So we're going to be, I said over the remainder of this year, we're going to be spending a lot of time on that. Of course, we will have our monthly contributor, Rebecca Boover, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, with us on Thursday, which actually is the first Thursday in December. So as everyone knows, she's with us the first Thursday of the month. That is actually the 1st of December. She will be with us right here, scheduling permitted, as long as she doesn't have a conflict in her business schedule because of her career. She will be here with us to discuss our health and wellness. Having said that, we're going to address an issue that was sent in by one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you're single with children. However, you want to be married and you find it difficult due to having minor children. So let me say this to you. First of all, it's really not difficult to find someone that or to be found by someone that you can match up with, as long as you go into this with the right state of mind. The problem that you'll have is that your children must become an asset to the man you want to marry. And what I mean by that is they have to want to become part of his family just as much. And what I mean by that is become a family unit with him as much as they are a family unit with you right now. The problem becomes that you have to teach your children to have the same respect for the man that you want to marry. You know, single mothers have the tendency to say their children are always going to be first. However, your husband has to come first, and then the two of you have to love your children together. So it involves going into a blended situation or a blended relationship or a blended marriage. You have to go in with the right state of mind. It cannot be my children are first. It has to be my family is first. And your family begins with, if you marry a man and you already have children, you have to be willing not to require him to take a step down. That's why I don't like the term step parent. You have to be willing to allow him to take a step up. You have to be a willing vessel for your children to observe. Watch this. So, one of the things that you'll notice, single mothers still have the tendency, they still want to walk on the curb. And I'm going to tell you what that means. So when I was a young man, a child, my father, God rest his soul, taught me that men should always walk on the outside of the curb because they are the protector. Single mothers still want to walk on the curb because they've been the protector for so long, but you've got to move over and allow your children to observe your husband as the protector. You have to allow them to understand that you're no longer protecting them by yourself. You have to allow them to understand that there is someone now who is willing to love them enough that he's going to protect them at any cost. And the reason he protects them is because they become an asset. They become an asset to his name. They become, in other words, what I mean by that is they are going to be representatives of him. They're going to, forevermore, once that man chooses to marry you and take your children and raise them as his children, they are also representative of him. They're not just a representative of you and what you will allow them to do. They become a representative of him. They become an asset to him. They are carrying his name even if they don't have his last name. They're carrying him because they're carrying that responsibility of this is who we represent. Our father and our mother. Now, if they have a father who's active in their life, what you indicated, he is not. But if this is for all of our listeners and viewers also, if their biological father is active in their lives, then they have something that most people don't have the opportunity to have, and that is a bonus parent. They now have more than one parent to love them and protect them. But if he's not present, then the new father, the new parent, is the one now who has to protect them. So you have to be willing to move over. And the reason I use that example is because you see that all the time. You will see that, and I'm not talking about feminism. I'm not talking about girl power. You will see single mothers have the tendency to walk on the curb, and the reason is because they've been protecting their children for so long. You've got to move over. You've got to move over and allow the person who's chosen you to be their wife to now become the protector of the family. And you have to allow your children to observe that, so that they understand that every step they make in life is a representation of your family. It's no longer just a representation of you, and it's no longer just a representation of themselves. I remember, when we were children in our generation, those of us who are baby boomers, we were told by our parents, don't go out of the house and embarrass me, because we represented the family. Now, I know times are different. I know some of you are going to send me some emails and remind me of how times have changed, and all that's good. I love hearing from all of you. newlifepastor@comcast.net, or you can text me on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. I always welcome your communications. But we're trying to do things differently now. We're trying to do things the right way. And you say you want to be married, then that's part of preparing yourself for marriage, particularly when you have minor dependent children. Because if you're going to get married, they're going to be residing in the household with someone who now is responsible for their life. Not just you any longer, but they're going to also be responsible for their life. You have to be willing to surrender that control to allow that person to build the family unit in a way that the family will flourish. Because at the end of the day, that's the goal, is that the family will flourish and experience the fullness of God. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you want to know why men have become so cheap and do not want to spend money on a woman. Okay, let me address this. Real men are not cheap. However, real men are only going to spend money on their woman. The woman that they have decided is the woman that they choose to spend their life with. So I have to tell you, I'm around a lot of young people every day of the week. And what I mean by that is, because we have our Achievers Academy, there's a lot of high school students, and there's recently graduated high school students that we have provided scholarships, and so therefore we track them through college, and I'm in communication with a lot of them. I see them, the high school students, on a weekly basis, so I get a chance to hear a lot of what's going on in society. They talk about what's going on social media, And, you know, now the new thing is that women are, you know, they're looking for men to spend money on them. You know, the young people call it, you know, they're searching for the bag. Now, the reason they use that term, some of them shared with me, the reason they use that term is because it started out with ladies wanting expensive bags, handbags. And then it became they wanted something to fill the bag. So they want men to spend money on them. They want to know that men have money to spend on them. So they want them to take them out to expensive restaurants. They want to take them to, you know, they want to take them shopping. There's a lot of this going on in our society today. And then they say if men don't spend money on them, then they can't have them. You know. Now, I have a little different philosophy about that, and I'll share that in a moment, but here's the reality. Real men are not cheap. Real men are not going to have a problem, you know, taking you out to eat. They may not take you to a 5-star restaurant every time you go out to eat, but they're not going to have a problem taking you to the movies. They're not going to have a problem paying for a date. Real men aren't going to have a problem with that. However, unless you all are living in this era of tricking, you know, where everything is about who can trick one another into whatever you want. Unless you're living in that era, in that groove, real men are not going to spend money on someone who is not their woman. They're just not going to do it. Not real men. And what you have to know is, if a man is spending money on you to get you to lay down and have sex with them, he'll spend money on somebody else to get them to lay down and have sex with them. You're not going to be exclusive. You're not going to be the person that he focuses on. You're going to be the person that he's going to focus on for the moment. He's going to take you out to a restaurant. He's going to take you out to a 5-star restaurant if that's what he's doing. If he's playing that game, he's going to maybe buy you something nice. He's going to have sex with you, and he's going to go home. And you may or may not see him again. That will be determined by who's up next in line. If that's all you want to be, you become the good time girl. No man is going to spend money on you if you're not the lady in his life. And notice I used the term lady. I went from woman, because he's identified you are a woman of character, and then you become the lady in his life. And that term lady means something. That means that we carry ourselves with dignity and respect. We're not just out, you know, tricking. We're not just out laying down with everybody. We're not just, you know, it's just about who's going to take me out and spend some money on me. It's not that. You're the lady in his life, which means you're important to him. So, you know, he's going to be the person who does the little things for you, who will do the little things that say, I care about you, you're important to me, and I love you. Because real men don't have a problem with that. Real men don't have a problem saying, I love you. Real men don't have a problem saying, I'll take care of you. I'll do the little things that you may not have time or don't want to do for yourself. Or it could just be the reality of everybody's got a role. See, you may be doing some important things for him too, but he's doing important things for you also. Little things that you don't have to do, and you're doing little things for him that he doesn't have to do, and collectively you're doing a big thing together. But there's a whole different dynamic going on in our society right now. And here's the truth of the matter. None of this is new. Nothing is new under the sun. I don't know, they call it chasing, the young people call it chasing the bag right now. It'll be something else next in the coming year. But right now it's chasing the bag. I'm about the bag. I'm chasing the bag. In our day, it was called tricking. You were a trick or she was a trick. Whatever. The reality is, you're tricking someone into doing what you want them to do because it makes you feel good. What you got to understand is if you're dealing with men who want you to split the check, who don't want to do the little things for you, and little things the reason they're called little things is because they don't have to be big things. They can be those little things like if you're going on a trip with your girlfriends, they take you to the airport. When it's time for you to get gas, they fill up your car. When it's, you say you need a pair of gloves and you just haven't had time to go to the store, they go and buy you a pair of gloves. Or order them online. It doesn't matter. I'm saying to you, it's those little things that we do for one another that make a relationship stronger. It's those little fibers that weave into the relationship that make the relationship stronger. You say real men are cheap, and I'm saying to you, those aren't real men. And the fact that you want a man to spend thousands of dollars on you on any given day of the week just to prove that they're not cheap, those are not. I don't listen. Somebody's going to be offended by the fact that I say this. Those aren't real men. They're players. And because they can, they play. But if they're playing with you, they're playing with someone else too. You're not exclusive. There's nothing that's going to be more special about you than the next woman he's going to play with. It's just who's next in line. So you don't want men who are not willing to do the little things. What you want is someone who's going to be fiscally responsible. Someone who's going to want to build something that's going to be sustainable, that's going to last. Now, I'm not saying a husband can, because he's a husband, he can do whatever he wants to do for his wife. That's going to make her life, her quality of life, great and make her life comfortable. Husband can do whatever he wants because that's his wife. Real men are not cheap. Real men are fiscally responsible. So you've got to maybe change your mentality about the men that you're dating. You've got to really look. Don't just look at the outside. Look at the heart. What is the intent of the heart? And if you do that, you're going to find that the men that you are going to finally be in a relationship with, they're going to be real men. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need: shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. If you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have been having difficulty dating. You have tried dating sites, however, that has not worked out, nor has dating worked out for you in person. So, you know, what's really interesting is I've shared with people a new method of dating that is more effective than anything we've ever done, any dating we've ever done. That's first and foremost. But let's just, for the sake of discussion, I realize a lot of people are going on dating sites, and there has been some success for people going on dating sites. However, there are literally millions of people going on dating sites, and you can name on, you may know someone who's had success on a dating site, but for every one person who's had success on a dating site, there are hundreds of thousands who haven't had that same success. And the reason is because there's a lot of different types of dating sites. And, you know, I can't speak to all of them because I haven't been on all of them. I have looked to see what some of them are doing because I hear people talking about this and I've received communications. The reality is that many of them are looking for hookups. Many of them are looking for, you know, men who have money. Many of them are looking for, I don't know for sure, but many of them are looking for other things. Everybody's looking for something, but we're looking for the wrong thing. First of all, and I'm going to say this to all of the women out there, it's not your job to find a man. It's your job for the man to find you. It's your job to prepare yourself for a man, a real man, a man of God to find you. Now, I don't have a problem with people putting themselves out there on dating sites, making yourself available, but then let them search and find you. And then when they search and find you, you've still got to ask the questions. I had someone send me a communication that said, well, I've been on the dating sites and, you know, this is what's happened and, you know, it still hasn't worked out. But the reason is because even when you're on the dating sites, you still need to go through the process. You still need to go through the process. And I realize the dating sites open up a more global environment of men. But then if you're going to have a long distance relationship, the man needs to still go through the steps. And I've told everyone what those steps look like, whether you're online or whether you're in person. You've got to know where they are in their relationship with the Lord. Pure and simple. You've got to know if that man has ever met Jesus. You've got to know that. You've got to know what's his relationship with God. You've got to know, is he up every day praying? Is he reading scripture every day? Because that's the only way he's going to be able to navigate life effectively and efficiently. You've got to know, does he meditate upon what he studied? You know, does he meditate upon the Word of God? Does he seek wisdom and understanding? You've got to know that. The only way you're going to know that is by knowing what he is taking in his spirit every single day. Then you've got to know, what is his plan for life? What is his 7-year plan? What is his 14-year plan? What is his 21-year plan? What are his goals? You've got to know those things. You can't just base it on, is he cute? Does he live well? How much money does he make? What does he drive? You can't depend on that. Because all those things are vapor. They can be gone in a minute. Only your relationship with the Lord will last forever. So you got to know that. So we've just got to do some things differently. You know, I would encourage all of you young ladies out there, if your father is present in your life, he should be reviewing the men that take an interest in you. because he's going to know what a man truly is. But, we've gotten away from all the fundamentals that we've learned throughout the years of life. We've got to do things differently, or we're going to keep doing the same things we've always done, believing that's the right way to do things and getting the same results. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I look forward to being in your viewing environment tomorrow. Remember, we are Facebook Live. We are YouTube Live at Daily Divine Direction. And stay connected with us.